Normally, when we do an episode on downloadable content focusing on a game or a franchise, it's an anniversary episode. But today, we have a plot twist. Today, we're talking about a franchise simply because that franchise is pure awesome and we want to squee hard over it. So join us as we take a dive into the two main games of the Horizon series, Zero Dawn and Forbidden West, and recount Aloy's journey next on DLC. Hello everyone, and welcome to Downloadable Content. I'm Brian, and with me we have Veronica.
Hi.
And Veronica alone. It's the Brian and Ronnie show today, so glad you could join us.
Thank you for joining me.
All right. Yes, we're going to be talking about Horizon. Just because it's not an anniversary episode, it's just I love these games, and I want to squee about it. So
That's because they're very good games.
they're really, really good games, and I want to squee about it. So that's what we're doing. God
Absolutely.
damn it. So before we dive into the thrill that is the Horizon series, just want to remind everyone that every single episode of DLC can be found on our website, dlcpodcast.com. You can also find upcoming episodes. Let us know if you want to be in on an episode. And if you click the feedback button, you can give us ideas for future episodes. We would love to hear it. All on dlcpodcast.com. Every episode can also be found on Apple Podcasts / iTunes, YouTube, and also on Spotify. So all there, all the different ways to get downloadable content into your ears. And that is what we're going to be doing today. Veronica and I are going to put some DLC into your ears with your consent, of course. Consent is important. It's not everyone's kink, I understand. So
Well, I'm assuming if they've downloaded this and they are listening to it, they have consented to hearing some good podcasting.
Yes, and you know, by listening, you have no legal bullshit. You know.
Speaking of audio, the voice acting and the casting in Horizon is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you're just plunging right in, just right from the word go. Just
do you have more you'd like to talk about before we
more
prelude?
I don't. I just you're gonna just plunge right in. You know, why the hell not?
Ashley Birch, Lance Reddick, more than just them, but the casting and voice direction in this series is marvelous. I just wanted to make sure we touched on that before we got into the story and the plot and all the rest of that. Just the people who bring these characters to life. I hadn't seen a game at this level up until this point, really.
And same, and I waited 3 years to play this game. Mm-hmm. I waited 3 years to play this game because I did not own a PS4. And it was a console exclusive for 3 goddamn years.
It absolutely was. Fun fact, I have lent my roommate my PS5 while I am out of town, so he can play Horizon Zero Dawn.
And very wise of you. And it was And you know my stance on purchasing consoles. It's I do not buy a console until there are enough games for the console that I want to play. And the problem is that the games that I wanted to play on PS4 also existed on other platforms like PC. And
yeah, you don't buy a console for one game. You have to have a small library.
I do not simply have the money, quite frankly, to buy a console for one game. And so I had to wait for this game to come out on PC at last. And that is when I finally played it. And I did something I've only done with this game, and I've never done it since. I streamed this game on Twitch as a first playthrough. And
I remember that not going super well for you.
It really, really wasn't, because despite my polite asks and requests for people to not backseat game and to not spoil the game for me, people just could not resist running their mouths.
It feels very similar to, I mean, very different in how the games are, but the way the fan base is about it feels very similar to Undertale, which was a very difficult game for streamers, where you had a lot of people backseat gaming, trying to give people direction, trying to police the way they play the game.
It was
go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was just I enjoyed the game a lot, even with all of that. I enjoyed the game immensely, so much so that I did a second playthrough off stream when the news that Forbidden West was going to come out, because I wanted to replay the game and get myself refamiliarized with the story so that I could dive right into Forbidden West when it came out.
Who knew robot dinosaurs could be so entertaining?
I just and I liked the game enough on the first playthrough that I wanted to do a 100% playthrough of a game. Now, you know that I am not a completionist.
No.
Like, a game has to hit me in all of the right places for me to go back in to want to do a complete play. And Zero Dawn did just that, and I really enjoyed it much better the second time around, without the backseating and spoiling.
I was gonna say, I did the same thing with the 100%ing the game, and like, it was a pleasure from beginning to end. It's like I'm pretty sure I played Zero Dawn before you, correct? As far as you remember?
I mean, if you had it on PS4, then you most certainly did.
Yeah. So I played it before you did, but I didn't play it at launch. I played it a year or two later. And like, it was the first game that really felt like a next-gen game that I'd played. Like, it like, there were other games on PS4 that I wanted to play. I didn't get it just for Zero Dawn, but it was the one where I played it and went, this couldn't have been done on something else. Like, this needed better hardware. This needed time. This game showcased, in a way, a lot of stuff up until that point hadn't, exactly what you could do now. And other games continued that from there, but that was the first one for me.
I can absolutely see that. So what did I play? So for me, that was Control.
Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, for me, that was Control, because that was the first game I played when I bought your PS4.
That makes perfect sense. I played Control after Zero Dawn. If I had played Control first, absolutely I would have had that reaction, because Zero Dawn and Control are both part of my top 10 games of all time. Like, we're talking greatness here, regardless of which one we're talking about.
Yes, definitely. And just, so since we haven't really gotten into any story yet, so just before I forget, just as a courtesy, this entire episode is going to be riddled with spoilers. It's spoilers out the ass. So if you have not played these games, and you want to play them, and you have somehow avoided the minefield that is the internet and social media, well, first of all, bravo. Bravo to you. Wow, just yes.
Don't let us be the ones to spoil it for you, though. Go play it yourself.
Yeah, just don't let us ruin it for you. Go play these. These deserve to be played and in there entirely, and it's yes. So do that. Stop listening, play those games, come back.
Here is your 5-second warning. 4, 3, 2, 1. Frost dies.
What?
Varl too, but we're not there yet.
Oh my god, next you're gonna tell me that Aerith died.
We did not, I mean, we're not even at Forbidden West. I did not expect Varl. We'll get there.
Yeah,
but that was unexpected.
Second half.
Yeah,
Save that.
Second half.
Save that. But I just going into this game, like, and also something that you know personally about me is that I don't really play a whole lot of AAA games. This was made by Guerrilla. This was made by Guerrilla. If I remember correctly, their first real claim to fame was Killzone.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah.
And so when I first saw this game, I was immediately intrigued by it, and I was just like, well, I don't own a PS4. I'm never playing this game. And then PC and
as Guerrilla Games, they did a small title, Shell Shock, but then they did Killzone, and the only game they did up until Horizon were Killzone sequels.
So just right from the rip, just like that, the opening cinematic of Rost carrying up baby Aloy to a naming ceremony, attended by an old matriarch. And you get the sense that this is something that's being done in secret, and it's like, oh, what happened here?
It feels a little covert.
It does. It feels a little covert, but you still had outstanding music, and that's how you start the game. And I am not going to go through story beat by story beat, because we're going to be here all night if we do that.
Especially since we're doing 2 very long games. 2
very long games that are in the over 100-hour mark.
Yup. I think once you continue, but I'm double checking. I think I have a 187 hours in the first game.
I probably have something close to that, but just I loved the fact that we have, when you realize very early on that the game takes place in the future, like when Aloy finds the focus, child Aloy finds the focus, and you see that little happy birthday sort of holo video.
Yeah.
And like,
it's where you really go, what's really going on here? When she wanders into the ruins, and
you see all this futuristic stuff, and that's me like, oh, how far into the future are we, and what the fuck happened?
I was gonna say, we're going into the damn dirty apes trope here.
Yes.
What did we do to destroy the planet this time?
Okay, I have to say this, because, and I know we're gonna jump all over the place. I'm hoping
absolutely
we're gonna jump all over the place. I'm not going in any sort of chronological order. Ted Faro, I have some. Ted Faro.
Yes,
I have some thoughts regarding Mr. Faro here. Thoughts that I have already gone on at length with other massive fans of Horizon, but for me personally, Ted Faro is one of the greatest villains in video games for me. Ted Faro is one of the greatest villains. He is one of those rare villains where I felt genuine anger playing this game. And the reason for that is because of when you find out how he destroyed the world.
Feels a little bit too close to reality, right?
Yes.
We can have like we've had other villains, like we have great over the top villains, or villains that are quite evil for evil's sake, and Ted Faro is just real. Like, he could be, and any of our CEOs right now could be Ted Faro.
Like, the closest approximation could very easily be Elon Musk.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because, the game is set 1,000 years into the future. The game is set in the year 3021. When you find out that it was unbridled capitalism that destroyed the planet and killed off humanity, that
feels a little bit too close to right now.
It feels incredibly plausible.
Yeah.
Like,
it really does.
Like, a fucking trillionaire destroyed the Earth by accident because...
And then destroyed all of human knowledge on purpose.
Yes. Like, it wasn't bad. It was bad enough that he destroyed the planet.
Yeah, him destroying the world through capitalism and through just fucking shit up and not caring about safeguards. Like, all of that is plausible, but what makes him so utterly detestable isn't, I mean, it's that, but it's not just that. It's how he doubles down and never learns from his mistake and just keeps fucking the world. Because I can think of at least 3 things he did after starting the crisis, where he very deliberately did what was best for him and his ego and not what was best for the world as a whole.
Oh, yeah. And, like, when you get near the end, because along the way, if you're finding out that, his old associate, Elizabeth Sobek, has to save the day. She creates the Zero Dawn Project. And when you are learning about what that project entailed, a part of that project was to create an entire massive repository of all of human history, so that when the planet was safe to be inhabited again, those humans that were going to be made in those chambers, in those life chambers, they would know what had happened. They would know their history.
The fact that in the Zero Dawn Project, preserving culture was as important as preserving knowledge and life. The fact that art and history and language, that these are part of what give humans, make us what we are, and that they felt enough that during the end times we still need to do what we can to preserve these things for the children of the future. That hits home.
Yes.
It reminds me of the people who were smuggling out pieces of art from Nazi Germany. Like, it's important, and it's worth risking your life for a lot of people, and I like seeing that reflected here.
It reminded me very much of like we are still, like, science and humanity, well, humanity at the whole, but as a whole, like, we're still mourning the burning of the ancient library of Alexandria, because that was the repository of all human knowledge. Like, there are things that were things in that library that we will never ever recover. Like, what scientific advances, what did our ancestors discover and write on those scrolls and in those books that are forever lost to history?
Yep, and we see parallels of that throughout history. Like, it is not just the Library of Alexandria itself, it's what it represents. And how many times we've refused to learn that lesson. As a personal note for me, the Institute of Sexology being burned down at the beginning of the rise of Nazi Germany, destroying decades worth of research on trans and gay individuals, and setting progress back 60 years. We're only just now starting to start up research on stuff that they had books on in the 30s that were just all destroyed. Like, we've done this over and over again to different groups forever.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're saying here is that Ted Faro is continuing a long tradition of assholery.
Yes, like, already not content that Faro lost control of his automated peacekeeper military robots, who, by the way, were engineered so that they could self-replicate and consume biomass.
That seems really smart. That's a great idea. I don't see how this could go wrong.
So, Zero Dawn is which was created by...
Wait, before you go on from Ted Faro, I just have one thing which, to me, epitomizes the story of Ted Faro.
All right.
From Forbidden West, we have the most adorable character, Alva, who is just a cinnamon roll.
Yes.
And when I hear her call Ted Faro a shithead, it gave me life. You do not expect that to come out of this character, and it was wonderful.
This perfect, innocent cinnamon roll. Yes.
You get it.
Yes, I absolutely do. I just wanted to hug her. Just like...
Absolutely. Okay, you may continue into Zero Dawn.
Yeah, we'll get more to her on later. But like, so you have Zero Dawn, which is created by Elizabeth Sobek. It's an automated terraforming system that was designed to eventually deactivate those robots and restore life to Earth over centuries. Throughout the entire project, you have Sobek who is going to save humanity, but Faro, so consumed by guilt over what he has done, in one last move, decides to think once again only for himself and his ego. He sabotages the entire digital repository of human knowledge. He sabotages it. It's called Apollo. He sabotaged it and deleted it because he did not want the future to know of his crimes. He did not want future mankind. I think it was in one of his own records. I think he did that because he wanted mankind to be free of the mistakes of the past.
Yes, I fundamentally disagree with him, but I at least understand a little bit of at least the open reason he gave of human knowledge is what led to this, and the way to prevent this for as long as possible is to remove that knowledge and let people start from nothing. And maybe they'll get here someday, but maybe it gives us another 1,000 years before that happens again. I understand that bit as the open reason, but it is very clear that a decent portion of it is just that he doesn't want people to know what he did.
And that particular reason seems to be more cemented in Forbidden West.
Oh, absolutely.
Because,
spoiler alert, we get to see more of Ted Faro in this one, though not as much as I wanted.
Agreed.
I wanted to see him during that part.
Oh.
We'll get to that part, but I was very disappointed when we didn't get to see him there.
So, you are, because you wonder what's okay. We're 1,000 years in the future. Why is humanity? Why has the rebirth of humanity basically just 4 tribal cultures? 4 tribes.
And why is it just like humans and about 12 other animals and then giant robot dinosaurs, and that's what's living on Earth?
Yeah.
But unlike a lot of games, they explain this. It makes sense.
Yes.
I mean, as makes sense as, a relatively soft sci-fi does. You can pick holes at it if you really want to, but I don't know why you would.
Yeah. It doesn't need to, in my opinion, at the very least.
I don't think it needs. It's the same thing of, you can poke holes all day in Star Trek. That doesn't make it bad TV.
Yeah.
You can poke holes in Zero Dawn if you really feel like it. It doesn't make it a bad game. So yes, do we want to talk about do we want to start leading into Aloy, or do we want to continue talking about the Zero Dawn project?
I mean, there's a million different ways you could go. I mean, you get obviously basically the prologue of the game. You have Rost, you have young Aloy, and Aloy is also the audience's avatar in all this, because you find out that Rost has been exiled from his tribe, but he's still very close to them. And
he is knowledgeable about the tribe in a way that Aloy is not.
Yes. And Aloy is like, these guys cast you out. Why are you so loyal to them? Which is what you, the player, is most likely thinking. Like, okay, for someone who has been shunned by your own tribe, you're still very loyal to them. What the fuck?
Rost is a complicated character. He has layers.
Oh, yes.
And we'll continue to see more of Rost. Like I spoiled earlier that Rost does pass, but even long after he passes, we continue to learn more about him and his story, and he continues, like, his effect on Aloy and her decisions is made apparent all the way through the end of the second game.
Yeah. I mean, he raised her.
Yeah. Exactly. But you have a lot of times where, let's say you have a parent figure that's killed in something. They'll get killed, they'll be sad for a bit, but they won't get brought up later. Rost gets referenced regularly throughout the second game. Like, you can feel his influence in the game. They don't try to brush it aside, and they don't forget about it. Like, that is a tragedy that Aloy will always carry with her, and the game is very clear about that. The same way any of us who've lost parents would feel. Like, I don't have a particularly close relationship with my family, but I still have moments where I miss my parents who've passed, and that's something that doesn't go away even over the years. And seeing that reflected in Aloy in a way that I don't think I've seen in a video game before. Probably because a lot of them don't take place over that long of a period of time.
No, and especially given Aloy's origins. With her being part of the Nora tribe, which worships an entity called the All-Mother. And part of the reason why she is also an outcast along with Rost is because she has no mother.
Her mother is the All-Mother.
Yes, her mother is the All-Mother. Like,
mm-hmm. But we don't get that for a while, and we don't get what it actually means for even longer.
Well, we don't. And, when we find out that the reason why Aloy has no mother is because Aloy is a genetic copy of Elizabeth Sobek.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you here for a moment, and this is probably gonna reference stuff from later, but I need your opinion on this.
Sure.
I love Horizon and I love Forbidden West. The one thing that feel a little complicated about is how much of a kind of perfect savior that Elizabeth was. I like her, and I like the complexity we get from her, but I often feel like she is maybe deityized a little bit too much, but it was something where for a game that is so well written with such fully realized characters, Elizabeth just felt a little too perfect sometimes and a little bit too... It might just be how the characters view her, less than her herself. But do you get it all what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying, and I do wish we got more records from Elizabeth, which is why I really appreciated the scenes that you get of her and Gaia in the first game.
I wish we got a little bit more perspective from Tilda in Forbidden West.
Yes.
Because that's somebody who knew her personally in a way we don't often see in the recordings, and I feel like that could have helped a lot to allow us to see the human rather than just the savior.
It is potentially something we're going to get in the inevitable third game.
I hope so. And none of this is me going, oh, she's bad, she's badly written, any of that. Like, I feel complicated here because I do like her a lot, but it's the one place where I'm like, I might have done that a little differently if I was writing it.
Absolutely. Open to interpretation. I do wish we did get more Elizabeth. But yeah, I mean, it's something that you got more of in written record, but yes. I would have loved to have seen more of, like, the more humanizing side. I mean, yeah. For all...
Also, seeing her calling Ted out on his bullshit, that also gave me life. right alongside Alva's shithead comment, seeing Elizabeth just tearing Ted down, that was A+ work. Wonderful.
Yes, A+. No notes. And for all I know, maybe like the way that she was presented in particularly in the first game, you know, maybe those because she was the one creating the project, maybe she deliberately, you know, quote, lost some of those other records. Like she had to be so strong. She had to put on that face.
Yeah. I mean, they talk like Tilda talked, and Gaia also talked about how she was a very private person.
Yes.
So I would not be surprised if she, you know, removed some records of herself just because, not for any malicious reason, but just because she's a private person. Not everybody needs to know what's going on.
Yep.
With her.
And maybe again, I'm not one of the writers for those games, but that could be exactly it. Like, no, we're going to not fill in all of the blanks surrounding Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's also interesting to see how Elizabeth's personality, her flaws, and her strengths and her weaknesses, and how they reflect in Aloy, and also how they reflect in another character we will get to later.
I love the dichotomy of that.
So do I, and I think I feel like that's going to get a bit of a focus in part 2.
I love the dichotomy of that. I also...
Well, not part 2, in second half.
I love the fact, you know, and the way that the story unfolds in the first game feels very organic. It like, you have, you know, once, you know, you're told that, you know, Rost mentions the Proving, which is a physical trial that if you win, then the tribe will grant you basically one wish.
Yeah.
And
Some reason, not magic wishes, but something the tribe is capable of giving.
And so for Aloy, that would be actually being fully incorporated into the Nora tribe.
It's been a while since I played Forbidden Zero Dawn, but if I remember correctly, that is what Rost wants her to do.
Yes.
But she just wants to ask why.
Yep.
Right?
And to do that, she would have to be a part of the tribe to do it. She would have to be a part of the tribe. So she would have to get in first.
Yes. So, but I was just going, she's not doing it because she wants to be part of the tribe. She makes that pretty clear to Rost that she just wants an answer.
Yeah, she wants answers and answers on his behalf.
Yes. Which he has answers that he's just not giving yet.
Yep. And won't.
What do you mean? Why won't he? There's plenty of game ahead of us.
Oh yes, that's absolutely.
Unfortunately, he will not be joining us for it.
No, he will not. And I like the fact. I like that you get your first real. Basically, your first main conflict of the game is that someone realizes that you have a focus and has traced you and realizes something about you that you as the player and Aloy have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
You have you get a target on your back and
no explanation as to why.
No explanation as to why, and unfortunately, she does win the proving, but at great cost.
I mean, we have been I wouldn't say teasing because I just talked about Rost at the very beginning, but I also think we should touch on Rost isn't the only one who dies in this. There's a lot of loss in this, and loss that'll continue onward. Like Varl's sister.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just like Rost is the one that obviously hits the hardest.
Yeah. Well, Rost hits the hardest for us because that's Aloy's father figure, and we're not following the other characters, but we will see how several characters who become important to Aloy were also affected by this. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this for Zero Dawn, but every single everyone who aids Aloy who is prominent, all of them have a similar story of loss. They have a parallel, and I feel like that's part of why Aloy was able to connect with them.
Yes. You're thinking about it. You think about Olin and Erend, specifically yep. Erend.
Yep. You think about that. You think about Erend. You think about Rost. You think about Varl. You think about even going down to the Sun King. Like each person that Aloy is able to find a human connection with, she finds a human connection with them through shared tragedy. Like that's almost always a topic that lets her become closer to them, because that is a bonding thing for Aloy in the first game. And I also think it's telling that that's not a thing through the second game. She's been able to find a way to connect to people through other things, not just through tragedy, but through joy and other shared experiences. And I think that it's part of seeing Aloy's growth.
Yes, and that sort of element reminds me a little bit of the recruiting in Mass Effect, but I think done better here.
Okay. From what I know of Mass Effect, that makes sense. I have not played the game, but I have absorbed much of it through osmosis.
Well, it's like, I mean, think of it when you're talking about Zero Dawn, you see how Elizabeth acquired her crew from a variety of walks of life, Aloy
Yes.
does the same thing. Aloy parallels that 1,000 years later.
I agree 100%. And I definitely see that in Zero Dawn, but you see that even more clearly in Forbidden West, where like it is a very apparent parallel.
Then you get, so like everyone that she befriends along the way, and if you do the full playthrough, the 100% playthrough, everyone who shows up in the ending, including Aratak from the Forbidden Wilds DLC. I mean, even Silence has a part to play in all of this.
Yes, he does. Which, by the way, we're not like we don't have to get there yet, but holy crap, Silence is one of the best characters in this goddamn series. He's one of the best characters in video games. He's
what there's a word for it. He's not an antagonist. Anti-hero is probably the closest.
He walks back and forth between being a tragic villain and being a anti-hero. Like he walks that fine line of, is he a villain? Is he not? He is very much a tweener, as we would say in pro wrestling.
Yes, and so when you have the central conflict of the game, which is, in addition to Aloy trying to find out who the fuck she is, also, why does she have a target on her back, and also why are the machines going berserk, like more berserk than usual?
Yeah, because they were talking about how the machines used to be like, yes, like if you went and you fucked with the machines, they would fight back, but they didn't hunt humans up until about 20 years ago. I might be wrong. 15 years ago?
No, it's pretty. It's pretty close. It's why Aloy was, quote, created.
Exactly.
A signal from one of the subordinate AIs went rogue, and you have to figure out. Well, it's one of the central plot points is what caused that.
One of the rogue AIs? Are you telling me there are more than one rogue AI in this game? But still, my beating heart.
Yes, Gaia had a Gaia, which was the overall system.
I can't help but see Gaia as an aged up version of Gaia from Captain Planet. I can't.
I get it.
Continue. Sorry.
So you have the different. Zero Dawn was composed of, you have the main system Gaia, and then you had its subordinate AIs, which control a different facet of the system. You had Apollo for human knowledge, Hephaestus, which created the machines.
Yes, he was the manufacturer.
You had Hades.
Yes. Who was the reset button.
Hades was
things.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, when if life did not work out properly, he could reset everything back to zero so Gaia could try again until she was able to create the perfect world for the humans. And it did happen more than once.
Yes. Then you had Minerva.
She was the one who was supposed to teach the humans. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you had Aether and Poseidon, which
Poseidon was exactly what he sounds like.
Yes, and then you had Artemis, Demeter, and Eleuthia. So those were the subordinate functions, and they all had a say. But the game's central conflict is, okay, something sent a signal to Hades to reset the world.
And we never find out what that is in this first game.
No, we never do. And that is what Silence is trying to find out. He's going about it in a really, single-minded, me first kind of way. But he and Aloy are approaching the same problem two different ways.
Yes, absolutely.
But
just to touch on them, because we mentioned the other ones, Aether's job was to deal with climate change and detoxify the Earth's atmosphere. Artemis was the one who dealt with the animals and reintroducing all of the non-human animal life. And Eleuthia was there to clone and raise the humans at the cradles to eventually be released into the world.
Yes.
Okay, continue. Sorry, we mentioned all the other ones. I wanted to make sure we at least touched on those.
And oh, by the way, you have Helis, the Shadow Karja. It's a tribal world. It's a tribal world, and oh yeah, and also in addition you have the Banuk, who are just doing their own thing.
That I adored that DLC. Like that first DLC taking us into the frozen north to revive another AI. Like that was just a pleasant little side story with giant robot bears.
Yes,
what
indeed.
else do you need?
They're friend-shaped.
They are friend-shaped. Why would they make them look like that if they didn't want us to hug them? Why am I dead now?
Yeah. Well, and the death.
Those bears did not mess around. Like the what? Sorry to sidetrack from story for a moment. What were your favorite or most difficult robots for you? At least in the first game.
Hold on. In the first game, I have to remember. I'm pulling up my list of what the bots were.
Which ones were in which game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the ones that always used to give me a fucking hard time. The storm claws, the birds, the big birds.
No, the stormbirds.
The stormbirds. Yes.
Yes. For me, it was the giant burrowing ones from the very end of the game. What were their names? I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, you looked it up. There's it's a long list.
I know exactly what it is too. I just don't remember what the name in game is. So I'll be back there in a moment.
So yeah,
but there's a lot. Like, regardless of whether it's the hardest or not, the first time you run into a Thunderjaw. Holy crap. Like that is where the game flips and you really see what is possible in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just chef's kiss.
Yep. And that whole side story in the Frozen Wilds with Aratak and Aurea and the lone AI Cyan, which they revered as a deity, or at least she did. At least Aurea did.
I loved Cyan. I'll be completely honest. I was a little disappointed that Cyan didn't make any relevant appearance in Forbidden West.
Also, another one of these side characters that I really loved in Zero Dawn, Talana.
Yes, but luckily we continue to see in later games.
Like I fully that had the potential. Like I wanted to see more of her and Aloy. I
agree.
It felt like
I could see a whole thing of the hawk and dove or hawk and thrush.
Yeah.
Just their adventures. I wish that was just a continuing thing.
Yep. Like, can we have a game just with the two of them, just the duo?
Uh-huh.
Sun King Avad, I also had a bit of a soft spot for him because he is trying so hard to undo the cruelty that his father, and by extension, the Karja, are known for throughout the game. Like, you hear, you go through the game, and there's so much talk from your side characters of, how brutal and bloody and barbaric the Karja and Avad. I mean, he's gonna spend his entire reign trying to undo all of the damage.
And I will say, we see a little, we see some of it in Zero Dawn, but like the red raids are just a shadow over all of Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Like it is an important plot point in Zero Dawn. We see like it affects, like, I'm not minimizing, like it affects so many people in Zero Dawn, and we definitely see it. But you get to see places devastated by it in Forbidden West, and you get to see exactly what he's trying to make up for and how difficult the journey he has ahead of him is.
Yeah. Like, the Red Raids were basically this universe's version of the Crusades. And just, it is such an unfortunately terrible part of this new chapter of human history. And yeah, it colors everything.
I think it's important that that happened, because we get to see Ted Faro choose to erase everything, hoping that by erasing all of our knowledge that we can be better than our past. And one of the first things we learn about shows that humans will be humans regardless of what you do, and that erasing that knowledge isn't going to make us better or worse people.
Mm-hmm.
All it does is limit our opportunities. And I think that was very important to show that the atrocities that Ted Faro did are not going to happen in this new world because he got rid of the information. All that does is limit the scope for a little while.
Yeah. It's like, okay. It's like, humans are going to human.
Yeah.
Humans are going to human.
And like, just the story of taking down the Mad Sun King, and like, it's a whole, in a normal game, this would be the main plot, or this would be part of the main plot. And in here, it's just an important footnote in the backstory to where we are today.
Yeah, it's already happened at this point.
Yeah.
And
exactly,
Avad is forever going to atone for that. Also,
yeah. And we can see people trying to overthrow him.
Yeah, to return things back to what it used to be. Like,
you're right, because I wasn't even talking about the Shadow Carja, though. I was talking about the Osram.
Yes, yes.
We get both sides. We have groups trying to overthrow him to reinstate an equivalent reign to the Mad Sun King, and we have external groups who are trying to overthrow him to tear the Carja down for their sins.
Yes.
And we get to make a choice, and we get to make a stand, and we do.
And we do, and all the while Avad is really, really wants to have a thing with Aloy.
He does, and I feel like there's a little bit of a spark there with Aloy as well. I don't know how you read Aloy. I read her as very Demi.
I can agree to that. I can absolutely see that, because Aloy is not interested.
Yeah.
Or at least not outwardly interested.
I mean, she may, at least towards the end, she makes a comment of, if she stayed, that there could be something there, but that is not her place. That is not what she needs to be doing. Also,
I believe it is mentioned that Aloy feels, because I think Avad had a former love that died, I believe.
Aaron's sister.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yes. Yes.
Aaron's sister, and
she died, and he talked about how he valued, like, somebody who was strong, who could stand next to him as an equal, and Aloy basically went, I am not her. Don't try to make me be a replacement for the woman you loved.
Yes. Which, again, pretty powerful. That's pretty powerful. That shows agency.
Yes. Absolutely it did.
I know we only have about maybe, like...
Yes, I was going to say, and to his credit, Avad takes that to heart.
Yes.
And he steps back.
He does not continue to pursue Aloy like a lovesick puppy, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. He expressed his interest. She declined, and he respected her agency. And that is what, that should be the baseline for, humanity, but we don't see that often enough in media, so I will at least appreciate that we saw it here.
I also just really love Aaron's character arc in this game because he is in such deep mourning for a good chunk of this game.
Well, as we touched on, the Aloy is able to connect to people through sharing tragedy. And Aaron's got more than enough tragedy to go around.
Yes. And Aloy makes an attempt with Silence, but Silence is so guarded. He is so guarded, and he is such an asshole at times. And there were moments where I just wanted to punch him in the fucking smug face.
That's the sign of a well-written character.
Absolutely. He too is trying to gather the knowledge of the old ones. Why is it gone? And he's also wondering what the fuck what's this Hades signal that has, come from nowhere? But also when you find out that he was the one that basically created the shadow card, not the eclipse.
Yes.
When
yes, he did.
And you're like, oh, you manipulative bastard. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he will use everything in his power to do what needs to be done, and what needs to be done is what he thinks needs to be done.
Uh-huh. I understand this, this pursuit of knowledge, but you are responsible for some terrible shit.
Yeah. And seeing all of the connections Silence has, where, if I remember correctly, his tattoos are from the Banuk.
Yep.
He has strong connections throughout the Karja. He is running some stuff throughout the Forbidden West when we get over there. Silence's network is vast and ever present. And it always feels like, at least through the first game, that Aloy is one step behind.
Always. It's mad. It was so maddening.
But I will say, not in a way that feels forced or poorly written. We see how intelligent Silence is, and it always feels like he is a step ahead, but that he's always earned that step ahead of Aloy.
I do occasionally like it when Aloy gets the jump on him, though.
I agree. And we see way more of that in Forbidden West.
Yeah, we really, really do.
We get to see it flip from Zero Dawn to Forbidden West, where in Zero Dawn, Aloy had she makes connections that will be important going into Forbidden West, but she very much is trying to do everything on her own. And Silence he may be he very much is a loner that doesn't trust anyone, but he knows how to manipulate and control people. So he has all of these people that he is getting information from, that are working for him in various ways. And it's not until Aloy is able to form a team of her own people, that she is finally able to catch up and start to put Silence on the back foot and show that she has the intelligence, and that she has the motivation, the willpower, just the emotional wherewithal to do what needs to be done, but without sacrificing the world to do so.
Yes, that is really, really well put, and that would make an excellent segue into Forbidden West, which we'll do on the second half. But before we close out this first half, with the last couple minutes, I want to bring up just one of the most curiously weird characters that you meet in Zero Dawn, Nil.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Mr. Blood for the Blood God himself over here.
This is a character that was meant for Warhammer, but somehow got... This is when your DM tells you to make a character and doesn't tell you the world, and you completely misunderstand what you're making a character for.
Yeah. Nil is like one of these... Nil is definitely one of these things is not like the other character. Like, he's just some guy, you know? He just likes to kill thieves.
Yeah.
He just likes...
I thought we were doing a murder hobo campaign. I didn't realize this was going to be a plot-heavy, story-based game.
Yeah, Nil is the murder hobo.
He really is.
He is the murder hobo. And if you spare him, he shows up at the end of the game at the final assault, you know, doing his damn murder hobo best, and I love him.
Yep. I agree. I spared him, and I adored having him show up at the end. Which, by the way, that is my favorite trope in almost any medium. I love when you help all of these people, and then at the very end, when things look their direst, that's when all of the people you aid come in to aid you. Like, I adore that trope. I always have. It may be cheesy, but it's the kind of cheese that tastes really good with the wine of this game for me.
Well, then you should really have the wine and cheese plate that is Mass Effect, because that is a huge one.
Well, I know I need to get to Mass Effect. I know I do.
And on that note, we're going to take this charcuterie over into the intermission and have some of that, sample some of that goodness.
Enjoy some music while you're waiting for us to return.
I'm going to enjoy my brie and chablis while we have some music, and yes. So on the other side, we will go into Forbidden West. So you're listening to the Brian and Ronnie show here on DLC, talking about Horizon. We'll be back. Welcome back to the second half of our episode talking about Horizon. Veronica and I are still here. Our various technologies have not been hacked by Hades and have gone rogue. So, you know.
You don't know that. I could be an AI.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm going to take all of your art and remix it.
Oh, good.
The true Hades.
Oh, good. That means that, you know, my grids will have 6 nipples coming out of 1. And, just buttocks where there shouldn't be. Anyway.
Oh, you are too real.
You know, it's funny that, you know, this series takes place 1,000 years later, but still AI perseveres. A good use of AI, apparently, unless, you know, it goes rogue. So
I was going to say, so we have, that is one thing I will say I kind of appreciate about Zero Dawn. We have both good and bad uses of AI in here.
Yes, indeed.
Just like I am fine with AI being used to help find, you know, cures to rare genetic disorders, but I'm not okay with it replacing artists.
We have a main central conflict from the first game that did not get resolved at the end of said first game, and that is the question of Hades, the AI Hades, because we do not know what sent the signal to cause Gaia's AIs to separate and go rogue.
Well, that is one. We actually have a couple open questions because we learn about Hephaestus in the DLC, and we also do not deal with Hephaestus.
No, not in the first game.
Yep. So we have a couple open boxes coming into the sequel, and spoiler alert, we get answers for a lot of stuff.
Yes, we do. Now, I had some theories going into the second game.
Okay. What were your theories?
I had some theories because, you know, we had time to think between the first 2 games. So I had a theory, some of which was actually proven correct in the second game. You get some records in the first game talking about an organization called Far Zenith. And you find out that they are an organization that is made up of the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, so it's an organization of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, and you find out in the first game, just from written records, and I think a few audio records, that they are trying to work with Elizabeth Sobek to get some of the Zero Dawn information. Specifically, they wanted a copy of Gaia. Because
they did want a copy of Gaia, but when they couldn't get that, they settled for getting a copy of Apollo.
Yes. Which they tried to do so illegally.
But we find out in the first game that their ship exploded in orbit, and they all died.
Yes.
Supposedly.
Yes, because their plan was the world's ending? All right, we're just going to bugger off and try to colonize another place. And yeah, you find out that their spaceship exploded.
So I'm just checking if you were on the same page as I was. That was suspicious from the start, right? Like, I did not think that they had actually, had died off at that point.
No, and that was actually one of my main theories. I was like, I think Far Zenith had something to do with sending that signal, but I didn't have an idea as to why.
I was not sure if Far Zenith had sent the signal, but I definitely did not think Far Zenith had been destroyed. I had thought maybe they had colonized the moon, they had to evacuate the ship, but they had colonized there, so they were still around. I was obviously wrong. Spoiler alert, we get to see a lot of Far Zenith, and we get to see some living ancestors.
Yes, we do. That was actually that was also another of my theories. I suspected that Ted Farrow was still alive. I thought he had too much of an ego to go down with the ship, as it were.
Of course he's still alive. Have you met CO?
Oh, Sayo. Oh, good lord. Good lord. Elon Musk cosplay.
No, it's so wonderful. But no, like, we got, like, don't get me wrong. This, like, we have robot dinosaurs. This series has always been sci-fi. But seeing the Far Zenith characters show up as antagonists, it really kicked the sci-fi up a notch.
It really did. And, you know, since Forbidden West, it takes place basically right after that final battle in Zero Dawn. It's 6 months later. It is 6 months later, you find out that a blight has formed because Gaia, the backup, or what remains of Gaia, because Gaia self-destructed in the first game. That's what caused Aloy to be born in the first game, was that something sent a signal to separate the AIs, Hades went rogue, and Gaia self-destructed, but in doing so, created Aloy, because Aloy was the genetic copy of Elizabeth, to fix shit again.
Yep, because her genetic code allowed Aloy to do overrides into different systems that nobody else would be able to do. So in a very real sense, only Aloy could do this. Which is why Silence needed her.
Yep. Silence is a very ends justifies the means type of person.
Yeah, he is basically that philosophy taken to its natural conclusion.
Yep.
He is going to save the world, even if it means killing everyone on it.
Yep. So you start the game already, Aloy noticing that, you know, a blight is going on and is searching for a backup of Gaia so that the Earth can be detoxified. Right away in the beginning, you know, you get an introduction to Varl, or reintroduced to Varl, I should say.
Not an introduction, because Varl is pretty prominent in the first one, but not as prominent as he'll be in this one.
No. And I found it very interesting that the first place you go to the game is the Far Zenith facility.
That's right. I actually forgot about that.
Yep, that is the first place. You know, that is the first place you explore, and you realize somewhat quickly that this is a shady organization. It is an organization by the rich and for the rich. You get
you can buy immortality for a price.
Yeah. So you once again learn that Far Zenith is again, you know, the rich of the rich of the rich, and that the space colonization mission that was mentioned in the first game, you find out that again that's the official record, that it had a disaster, and so you also find out that Far Zenith had planned to basically steal Gaia, but Elizabeth...
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember if they gave us an answer to this. Did they ever explain why Ted didn't join them in Far Zenith? Because that seems like it would have been right up his alley. Even if he funded Zero Dawn to try to save Earth, like, it really feels like he would have no issue ditching the planet. Did they talk about that? I forget.
I think so.
Sorry, I don't mean to take us on a little tangent. While you're looking at that, I can talk about one thing we brought up from the previous one. Rockbreaker. That was the machine that I had a nightmare of a time dealing with in the first game.
Yes, just like here. I'm just gonna spit shit. I think this does get mentioned in the game, and I think it's like, he definitely had connections with them, but I believe that he wasn't considered part of the Zenith so that he could basically play God in his bunker when shit came.
Yeah. I mean, we get to see the result of that, or at least hear the result of that.
Like, even though he was one of the richest people on the planet, I think Far Zenith was they basically decided that Pharaoh was too much of an egomaniac to let him join their ranks.
Okay, now that we're in the second half, I can mention this. Am I the only one who's disappointed that Ted Pharaoh was still alive in some form and we weren't able to kill his ass?
Yes, I am. I would have loved for Aloy to as the reincarnation of Elizabeth, be the one to pull the plug.
I was hoping he was going to come out and be some kind of G virus mutation from Resident Evil 2.
I mean, that's kind of what we were leading up to. That's what
it's what it felt like.
Like that whole quest of reacquainting ourselves with Ted Pharaoh. I was totally expecting that to be a hi, William Birkin.
That's exactly what my brain was. We are gonna have a William Birkin boss fight in this temple, this monument to one man's ego as the lava is bursting in. Like, I thought that's where we were going.
Yep, that's what I was, and we didn't get it.
We didn't get it. But what we did get was friends. We picked up a lot of friends along the way.
Oh, we absolutely did. So, I loved the fact that the game, like, Forbidden West very clearly has established that Aloy has mentally has kind of become Elizabeth in that sort of this, like, the world is about to end again and only I can save it.
Yeah. And we saw in Zero Dawn that one of Aloy's primary weaknesses is her inability to trust and her inability to allow other people to share her burdens, to aid in her responsibilities. Like, every time that she has someone who helps her, whether it's Erend or whether it's Varl, it is always with Aloy resisting as much as she can along the way. And it's only through sheer stubbornness that her friends manage to keep up with her in that first game. And this game is about Aloy having to face that side of herself and learn to trust and learn to share and learn that you are stronger with your friends collectively than any of you are alone.
Mm-hmm.
And we make some new friends in this, and old.
Yes, we do.
Shall we talk about them?
Sure.
Would you like to start?
Well, I mean, you start off with Varl. You start off with,
yes.
Despite Aloy's attempts to constantly try to lose him. Oh my god. Like,
absolutely. And Varl is the sweetest boy. Oh my god.
And Varl is like, you can try to lose me, you ain't going to.
Mm-hmm. That boy has the stubbornness of, like, any whatever you want to compare it to. Like, he is able to keep up with her despite everything she is throwing at him to try to stop him. Because she is not giving him an easy time. He tracks her across. Doesn't he track her across the world for 6 months before he finds her?
Yeah, I mean, yes, because the game takes place 6 months after the end of Zero Dawn. Like, so you do that whole initial quest. You do the whole exploring through Far Zenith's facility, and then she goes back to Meridian, where she gets the trolling message from Hades. Not from Hades, from Silence. The Silence is like, oh, you finally figured it out. He's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking punch you.
Once again, the best written character in the game.
And yeah, so she leaves. She makes a fake promise to Varl that because they're gonna go out and find this Gaia back up together, and but then she sneaks out in the middle of the night and leaves, and Varl finds her.
As we said, Aloy does not want to share her responsibilities. She can't trust anyone, no matter how much they prove themselves. That is her damage. She has issues trusting.
She has trust issues. Who knew?
Relatable.
And
luckily, she has a friend like a Varl that is willing to step up and go, you can travel across the world, but I'm coming too. I'm gonna find you.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna help you save the world.
And so you have Varl. Erend returns. Erend has
Indeed, he does.
Erend has a bigger role this time.
And Erend is finally allowing himself to recover from his grief. We still definitely see how his sister's death affects him. That is still something. It's something he bonds with a couple of the other characters over, but we do see him allowing himself to show more emotions and to show joy and to connect with other people in a way we didn't see as much in the first game.
Yep. We also pick up Zoe.
The first of our new characters.
Yep.
So Zoe is part of the Utaru, which is one of the new tribes that we did not see in the first game, who are a more peaceful tribe, at least than the other tribes we see in Forbidden West.
Yes, like the Tanakh and Dakota. Not Dakota.
Exactly. Dakota was a character.
Yes, he was.
The what was the name of Alva's tribe? The Quen.
Yes.
Yes.
Our perfect cinnamon roll. Katalo was the one that joins the fun.
Yes, he does. Katalo and his missing arm, it is always great to see, disability representation. And
his character that he realizes that, and he starts to learn to move on from that.
Yes. Yeah, and he makes himself a new arm, and then after he uses it, basically goes, it doesn't feel right. Like I have become accustomed to not having that there, and I have adjusted to that, and this doesn't feel like me. And don't get me wrong, I know people who would absolutely love to have a way to replace their arm or replace their leg or anything like that. Prosthetics are amazing right now, but I also know there are other people who have a feeling like he does, and it is nice to see either of those represented in a game.
Mm-hmm. And then we get Beta.
Oh, Beta. So, Beta is another clone of Elizabeth Sobek, but a clone who had a very different life prior to meeting Aloy than Aloy did prior to this moment in time. And because of that, they may have the same genetic lineage, but they are very different people. And Aloy does not know how to deal with it, because Aloy sees herself very much as the heir of Elizabeth's legacy, And Beta does not reflect that legacy in the same way Aloy does in her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes a major source of conflict for a decent chunk of the game. But Brian, I squealed when Aloy called Beta her sister for the first time.
Yeah.
Holy crap. That was really good.
Yeah, it was. Because they are at each other's throats for a good chunk of the game.
They really are.
And
getting to watch that relationship evolve. Like, spoiler alert, Aloy's companions are really the backbone of this game in a lot of ways, both in how they aid her throughout the game, but also in they are both, their development is a major part of the game, but also in what they do in the world is a major part of the story developments.
When Beta joins the group, one of the questions you get hit with, or at least I got hit with, was, wait a minute, how the fuck did Far Zenith get a copy of Elizabeth's genetic code?
A very good question. Boy, those Far Zeniths seem a little sketchy. I wonder where this came from. I think we're going to need to find out.
So we find out that, once again, these are very relatable antagonists, because you find out that the mission to the 1% trying to colonize another planet actually was successful. And once again, I felt myself getting pissed. Like, oh, not already content with one fucking capitalist ruining the planet, destroying the planet, now the surviving 1%ers who have evolved immortality want to come back and claim Earth for themselves 1,000 years later? Oh, fuck you. Fuck right off.
But as we find out, there's a reason they're back.
Yeah. Because they repeated Ted's mistake.
Okay, wait. Before we go on, I need to see if you had the same thought I did. Before the reveal of what Nemesis is, I thought it was the Pharaoh Plague. I thought it had followed them to their new home. So, like, they shut it down on Earth, but there were ones that had migrated into space to go after those humans, and that they were continuing back. I thought we were going to get the Pharaoh Plague. I did not anticipate what it actually was going to be. And I don't know if that's better or worse.
I didn't anticipate it. I did not think that. I thought that the Pharaoh Plague had evolved.
Yes.
I thought it had mutated.
That is more what I was getting at, yes.
But no, just finding out that the fucking 1% basically repeated Ted's mistake.
I mean, that does seem like a theme in the Horizon series of humanity can learn from its mistakes, but that when we try to leave everything behind and we try to erase information, we try to ignore our mistakes, we try to erase our mistakes, that means we'll never learn from them and they'll just continue to repeat over and over and over again. And that seems to be a theme we see repeating through both of the games.
Like, you find out that the reason why Far Zenith is coming back to Earth is because they want to obtain a copy of Gaia, because the one that they stole from Elizabeth Sobek was actually a fake. Because Elizabeth in the first game caught wind that they were stealing Gaia, so she outsmarted them.
Yeah, her and I can't remember his name, but the dude who made Hades.
Yeah.
The hacker.
Yep.
I can't remember his name. Not for the life of me. Other than I'm pretty sure I remember it was alliterative, and it sounded like a comic book character's name.
So yeah, you have these people who were originally from Earth, but in the ensuing 1,000 years, they have, they did actually colonize another planet, and they evolved. They gained the ability to fly. They developed advanced technologies, and again, they became immortal. They evolved to be immortal beings. So these are the same people who left Earth because they had so much more money than God, and now they want to.
I feel like using evolved is giving them a little bit too much credit. They genetically engineered themselves. To have these.
I mean, Pharaoh also tried to genetically engineer himself, and he became a shell of everything.
How will that work for him?
What? Yeah.
Ted.
Oh, I am so glad though that even though we weren't the ones to kill him, I'm glad that he finally got hoisted by his own fucking petard and just.
He built himself a very pretty mausoleum.
Yes, he did. It was a fitting end. His own ego eventually got him.
Speaking of that mausoleum, we have a couple other characters in Aloy's group we haven't met yet, like Alva and the Quen, our favorite cinnamon roll.
Oh yes, she's so adorable.
She really is.
She just wants to learn things, and that whole storyline about how the elders of the tribe are like they've locked away certain bits of knowledge.
Yep.
I'm just like,
the fact there were overseers deciding what pieces of knowledge are forbidden and which ones are not.
Catholicism? What?
It is also interesting to see just a glimpse of what's going on in other parts of the world, because it is heavily implied, like we know they came from across the ocean, and it's pretty heavily implied that they're from the cradle in China. It was one of the few cradles that was not compromised by the plague.
Correct.
Yeah, so they traveled across the ocean to arrive here, and it is good to see, especially for a game series that is presumably continuing, that we have whole sections of the world that to still explore.
Hence the inevitable third game.
You say that like I am I am so excited for a third game.
I cannot imagine Guerrilla leaving with the way Forbidden West ended.
Oh yeah. They leave on the cliffhanger. The cliffhanger of cliffhangers.
Yeah, the super evolved AI that the rich assholes made that actually evolved to the point where it destroyed their own planet, and now it's targeting Earth because the AI is chasing them across the fucking galaxy. And
also, Hephaestus is still at large.
What?
I say also Hephaestus is still at large.
Is it? I thought that was one of the I thought that was a tamed AI
you capture it towards the end of Forbidden West, and then you have to make the decision to release it to deal with some of the stuff going on with the Zeniths.
Oh,
so at
right.
the end of the game, it is actually still at large. Which I feel like they felt like they had to do, because if Hephaestus isn't still at large, you're not going to have new violent machines in the third game.
True. And you need some way to avenge Varl.
Yes.
Because Varl dies while you're trying to capture the thing.
Oh, god damn it. I did not like Rost's death. I won't say felt predictable, but I was not surprised when he passed. I did not expect Varl's death. Like, when the attack happened, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. This girl does not need more trauma. She has trauma. And especially, like, we have not talked about it, But
We'll talk about it now.
Yeah, throughout the game, we have seen a blossoming relationship forming between him and Zoe, and them talking about their futures and what they see together, and the reveal after his death that she is pregnant.
Yep. Twist the knife a little more, why don't you? Twist the knife a little more, why don't you?
And just like with Rost, there's a grave that you can return to as you do story bits, and you will get dialogue from Aloy telling Varl about what has happened and sharing their triumphs and their failures with him. Which I don't know if that's a thing you did in the first game.
Oh, yes.
But
yes, I did.
Yeah, it is. It can be a bit of an emotional punch sometimes. But yes, we have a couple other party members we should mention. First of all, we've mentioned her in passing, but we have Gaia, the spirit of the earth.
Yep.
Or at least the AI in charge of rebooting the earth, who we are slowly bringing her subordinate functions back so she's able to gain enough strength to control and absorb Hephaestus. But she is there throughout the entire game to give us advice and to give us insights into a world that passed long ago. Somebody who is able to speak knowledgeably and personably about Elizabeth, who was her creator and her friend, and as well as various other people in the Zero Dawn project.
Yeah, and I think that is... I was very much glad for that, because you did... Again, we didn't get a whole lot of Elizabeth's character in the first game, and I'm glad we got this. Like, yeah, okay,
Absolutely.
she's a very...
we needed it.
Like, she's a very private person. Yes, I get that. And just seeing during the credits of Zero Dawn when Aloy finds Elizabeth's suit and just like, oh.
Yeah. And we do get to see that Aloy travels to Elizabeth's grave to get her pendant.
Yes.
Where she dies at her childhood home, if I remember correctly.
Yep. You found Mom.
Yeah, you did. And then you found out that Mom had a daughter that you didn't know about. Oh, Beta is somebody who, I don't know, like the character Beta and Oliver are the two characters I related to most in this game. Like, Beta is a giant ball of anxieties.
Well, but she's raised by Far Zenith, are you surprised?
No, I'm not at all. In fact, she would be even more messed up if she didn't have the little bit of Tilda that we got there. I was so disappointed in the turn with Tilda at the end. I know I'm supposed to be. I don't even care that we had to kill her in the end. Her dismissing Beta the way she did, that hurt.
Yep.
It was meant to hurt, but it hurt.
It meant to hurt, and I saw... Tilda... Tilda is an interesting character because that's another, as you mentioned, that's another connection to Elizabeth, because it is very much implied that Tilda and Elizabeth not only knew each other, but may have been in a romantic relationship together.
I would say it's not even implied. Tilda outright says it.
Does she?
I'm not going to say outright says it. She does. She does. And Aloy asks if it was... Like, she asks if they were in a relationship. She doesn't say romantic, but it is... Like, there's no other way to interpret what she's saying.
Like, it's almost to the point of obvious. Like, it is incredibly heavily implied, if not outright just said.
Yes.
And...
So Elizabeth liked the ladies, much like Aloy, as we'll find out.
As we'll find out. But Tilda winds up doing what because I see the comparison here with Tilda and Avad a little bit, because
Avad was willing to respect her agency. Tilda was not.
Tilda absolutely sees Aloy as the replacement for Elizabeth. And when Aloy asserts her own agency, Tilda flips.
Yes, she does. And becomes the final boss of the game. I did not expect that.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. I did not think it was Regala, because Regala was basically Helis.
I agree, but I will say I think Regala was more interesting than Helis throughout all of Forbidden West. Like, it is definitely a parallel to Helis. I just think they learned how to do it better in the second game.
Like, I mean, we haven't even touched some of the other. I mean, we talked. We
didn't even touch on the Tanakh and their whole struggle for control and power that dominates a good half of the middle of the game.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, guess who was also behind the scenes manipulating all that unrest?
Silence, is that you? It's always Silence.
It's always it's like pulling the mask off at the end of a Scooby-Doo episode. That really.
Okay. I just need to pull the Band-Aid off here. It's gonna be really hard to see Silence now that Lance Reddick is passed.
I get that. I mean, I think you're not the only one who feels that.
I don't think they should kill him off. I'm okay with them recasting him, but it's gonna be hard that first time seeing somebody else play the character, because he brought so much life into that character, so much smarmy, too knowledgeable, manipulative life into that character.
And I agree 100%. And it's like, unfortunately, Silence is such an important character to the franchise that you can't just get rid of him. You can't.
Yeah, no, I don't think they should. I think it would hurt the franchise as a whole. If they want to kill him off in the third game and let that character go at that point, I understand. But I don't think there's any way they could do it in between games. Like, they have to continue with him. But it's gonna be hard. So
we're not going to be talking about it on this episode, but you have the Lego Horizon game, and so they cast Tim Russ as Silence in that game. I don't know how familiar you are with Tim Russ.
I am not, but I'm Googling him now to see. The audience may not know, but I am not great at actor names, but I very well may have seen him in something. I'm checking.
Did you ever watch Star Trek Voyager?
No, I did not, but I've seen clips of it.
Okay.
I might have seen him.
He was Tuvok in Voyager, so main character.
I have seen him. Now that I pull up a picture, I have definitely seen him.
Yep. So, So
he was in Spaceballs.
Yes. We ain't seen shit. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. I'd say you could have brought that up. I know Spaceballs.
But yeah, so I understand, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the inevitable third game. It hasn't been announced, obviously, but there is going to be a third game.
Yeah. Well, the game is not officially they have said they are working on the game. They have not told us anything about it. They have not officially announced it, but they have been asked and they have been said that they are working on the game.
Yeah. So
not a spoiler.
Yeah, not a spoiler. So, back to the game. I also really like the fact that,
one one more second before you go, just because we mentioned the Lego one. We know that Call of the Mountain exists, but neither of us has PlayStation VR. So I'm very sorry. I am sure that it is a good game. All of the Horizon games are, but it is a more difficult game for us to get our hands on and play.
Yes. So we talked in the first half about how, history has had consequences, and we talked about how Avad has to fend off multiple fronts.
Yes.
you have Karja, who are trying to overthrow him to go back to the old ways. You have Osram trying to get revenge on the Karja for the Red Raids. Yeah. And those Red Raids carry on into Forbidden West with the Tenakth.
Yeah.
And
we have a new leader of the Tenakth who's brought the clans together, but not everyone is so thrilled about this new leader seeking peace and an end to the war.
Oh yeah, and that is Regala's whole motivation. Like, Regala is so pissed that Hikaru, and I love him. I love Hikaru. And the fact, I think he wears glasses at certain points.
I think you're right. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I think you're correct.
I'm like, oh, where'd you get those? But Regala is so pissed when Hikaru is calling for peace because she wants revenge. She wants revenge against the Karja. She kill them all.
Blood for the blood god.
Kill
she
them
would get
all.
No.
And Silence taps into that.
Silence manipulating people in the background to further his goals, but still my heart.
What?
I did not expect that. 2 games in a row. Who could have guessed?
Oh my god.
He is subtly manipulating most of what is going on in Forbidden West through the Sons of Prometheus, a group of Oseram that are giving override technology and more modern weaponry to various Tenakth factions to aid them in the destabilization of the region.
Mm-hmm. And so I also really enjoyed in Forbidden West. So, because this very much feels like, I mean, the game is obviously meant to like, both games are taking place in like the Southwest to Pacific Northwest eras of the United States. Like,
oh yeah, like we see, like we're in San Diego, I believe, that is to the far west, and we find LA later.
Yes, we find LA later, and with a little touch of Vegas thrown in there.
Yep, we find Vegas, we see LA, we see San Diego, so we're very much in the western United States to the coast.
Yep. You mentioned Sayo. God. I'm gonna cosplay.
Our honored CEO.
I'm going to cosplay as a businessman.
I'm just going to read to you a couple notes that I made for this. CEO, a man almost as slimy as Ted Pharaoh. May I present our honored CEO when he is introduced. Dear God, Brian, I nearly choked on my drink. A man who truly lives up to his name. He is so slimy, I hate him already. He is perfect. And then, dear God, he thinks he's Ted Pharaoh.
Oh.
When I got to that part,
Yeah.
I died.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And Aloy going, I've changed my mind. You do have a lot in common with Ted Pharaoh. And my comment, that man has no idea what kind of burn that statement was.
Yep.
Those were my notes on CO. Oh.
I do.
The game got me there. The game got me there.
Yeah. That whole quest was just loaded with sleaze, corporate sleaze.
Turning corporate language and speak into a religion. Oh.
As if capitalism already isn't viewed as a religion enough.
Uh-huh. They just took it to its logical extreme.
Sorry, Pharaoh, you tried wiping all of humanity's history away. Apparently it didn't work.
It did not.
Oh, and forcing Aloy to basically wear like a company outfit. Like
the traditional garb of Elizabeth Sobek, the assistant of Ted Pharaoh.
Typical man.
Oh my god.
Huh?
So, one thing I wanted, just because I'm in my notes right now, on a bit of a tangent, I didn't realize Forbidden West had its own water temple. Fuck Cauldron Kappa.
Ah, yes, that one. Mm.
We have not talked about the cauldrons yet, and we don't need to. For the people who are listening, if you haven't played the game, you already should have. They're places you gain new overrides for the machines by doing a bit of a puzzle dungeon. But Cauldron Kappa is terrible.
Yes, it's the water temple without the game-breaking glitch.
Uh-huh. But I at least felt the need to mention that, because I was so frustrated in that cauldron. We really have not touched on, all the different, we talked about the machines. My favorite, I always did the tall neck quests. Yes.
Whenever I could, as soon as I was in a new area, I just forget exploring all the the settlements and whatnot. Go right for the tall neck. I want that map.
You're going to the tall neck because of the map. I'm going to the tall neck because he is the best boy. We are not the same. I loved the tall necks.
The only machine that wasn't openly hostile.
Yep. The tall necks were all friendly and peaceful. The worst you could worry about is them stepping on you.
Yes. And you'd really have to have talent to
get killed by one of them.
To get killed by one of them, yeah.
I agree with you.
But they are so cute.
I agree, but I will just say, because they bring these robots to life. They might be made of metal, but every one of the machines we see through this game has loads of personality.
Yes. And
I feel like that's where a lot of the love for this game comes from, because the robots were something special.
And the way you had to tackle each new one was you couldn't just brute force your way for everything.
I mean, if you're stubborn enough, you could, but it's going to be if you refuse to take advantage of the information you are given and refuse to tackle them directly, you're gonna have a bad time. You're absolutely gonna have a bad time. There were plenty of bad times that I had
tackling some of those fuckers.
Okay, you already know this, the audience does. I took several long breaks in the middle of playing Forbidden West, and when I came back for the final time to finish the game off, I went, I have a couple side quests. I'm going to go do those before I continue the main quest, just to get back into practice. And the first quest I did had me fight a Stormbird and a Thunderjaw, one after another as a gauntlet.
Oh, that was fun.
That was certainly a way to get back into the game.
Oh, well, there's your practice.
I mean, it was, and I did get through it. But that was.
But once you gained the
interesting way to get back in.
Once you gained the ability to override one of those and fly.
Oh my god! unlocking flying towards the end of the game, it was wonderful. And I don't know about you. Did you use the normal mount much throughout the games?
I used them somewhat regularly.
Okay. I didn't never use them, but I did not use them regularly. I usually fast traveled, and if it's an area I hadn't been in before, I almost always want to take it by foot first. So there's only a few times that I ended up using the regular mount, but once I got that flying mount, dear God, you could not drag me off of that.
Once I got that, I felt like every time I did one of those, I felt like that the high wind theme should have been playing.
Absolutely. It is giving you the same feeling the first time you get an airship in Final Fantasy.
Yes, indeed. That's yes. So we spoke about Tilda, and we have Far Zenith, and so you get the ending of the game, which the Nemesis AI, the AI that the rich bastards created, and having never learned the lessons from watching The Matrix, it became sentient, destroyed their civilization. The Zeniths are hot-footed it back to Earth, and Nemesis is on a collision course with Earth to destroy them. Don't tell me that Guerrilla did not get inspiration from Resident Evil 3.
I absolutely wouldn't say that. They definitely did. Like, I would never tell you they didn't.
I'm just, when that whole bit of plot was explained to me, all that, stars, that, I'm like, okay. That's a very, very nice homage. I like it. So now I'm going to have to, so what we're going to do in the third game is we're going to have to corner this AI. We're going to have to plug in 3 batteries to fire up a rail cannon. And yes.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I know I'm coming at this from a different direction, but I've watched enough anime. We're gonna friend the crap out of that AI. We're just gonna hit it over and over again with arrows until it becomes our friend.
Okay, all right, sure. I mean that is definitely one tactic. That is one tactic, absolutely. So yeah, I'm very curious. And now and when Silence joins your team at the end of the game, because he finally has been outsmarted, at least for now.
So here's a little quote from Aloy about Silence. You know the part of us that makes us kind, warm, welcoming? Yeah, he was born without that. And I think that kind of reflects a bit of their dynamic throughout the game. Because, tell me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong on this. I feel like I'm not saying that we agree with Silence, but we as the player are more sympathetic to Silence than I think Aloy is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that, because we know people like that.
Yeah, and we may not agree with the means that he is doing, but we understand that he has the same goal. But I feel like Aloy cannot let go of how he has manipulated her, nor should she.
No, she absolutely shouldn't.
But as the viewer, we have more of an omniscient perspective. We can relate a little bit more.
So
it was easier for us to accept him as part of the group than I feel like it was for Aloy.
The fact that he decided at the end, because it would have been perfectly in line with his character if he got on that rocket ship and got the fuck off the planet. It would have been...
I agree, but I will say, Forbidden West, so Zero Dawn is about setting up our characters and who they are.
Yep.
And Forbidden West is about our characters evolving and becoming better. It is about all of them finding their flaws, finding what they are and what they're scared of, and standing up and overcoming that, or finding ways to mitigate it. And that comes down to Silence making the decision at the end that he is going to put faith in Aloy, and that there is things worth saving here, even if the odds are not in our favor. And I think that might be the biggest step of growth for any of the characters, just because of how much we've seen of Silent's personality and how difficult a decision that must have been.
And Silent's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
3 sizes that day.
So but also because of just how his character has been throughout I'm waiting to see how he's going to give Aloy the slip in the 3rd game. I
don't think he's going to.
I'd love it if that was the case. So, and we'll find out. We will find out.
Yeah, we will find out. But we don't have a lot of time left. We do have at least one other thing that I think we'd be remiss not to talk about.
Oh, we have to go to Burning Shores. We have to go to the Burning Shores.
And we need to go and talk a little bit about a new character, Seika.
Seika, Oh, she is such she is such a stoic character when she's not using it as a front.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm gonna let you talk a little bit before I get into my thoughts.
Seika and Aloy are pretty similar in that mindset of, I have to be strong. I have to, people depend on me, and can't show vulnerability, and
a little bit like somebody else we know.
The fact that the two warm up to each other over the course of this DLC, to the point where they actually have feelings for each other, that was a beautiful thing to watch. Because Seika has some past bullshit of her own.
Oh, absolutely she does. She is a parallel of what Aloy would be if she chose to stay with the Nora.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is very much who she is. She is meant to be a what-if scenario showing if Aloy won the proving and chose to stay, and Hades didn't start targeting her, they would be the same character. But because Aloy's path diverged there, you can see how they each got to the path they're on. So I take it you really enjoyed the character and the budding romance that was told through the DLC.
I absolutely did. And you are given the choice toward the end there, whether you can reciprocate Seika's feelings or not. And I didn't really feel. I felt like if I had chosen to reject Seika's feelings, then I kind of felt like then Aloy's character progression would kind of been a little bit for naught.
I agree. I will say before I go into anything else, I reciprocated her feelings because I feel like that is what Aloy would have done. I feel like that is where her story went. I did not like Seika. I did not like I liked a lot of the story in the DLC and the tribe and the cult and all the rest of that. I felt like when Aloy ran into Seika at the beginning of the DLC, she immediately trusted and hit it off with Seika in a way that she has never done for any other character, and it felt incredibly out of character for Aloy. And that mixed to negative first reception just continued throughout the game. I felt like she was meant to be very similar to Aloy, and I get that she's meant to be a narrative parallel. of what Aloy would be like if she hadn't left the tribe. I definitely see that, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but it also felt almost like Aloy was romancing herself, which I get that, like it's not just opposites attract, similars can attract as well. But it didn't feel great for me through most of it. I definitely, like I said, I chose to reciprocate the feelings because that is very much where Aloy as a character was at. And I wanted to stay true to the story. But I felt like I should have liked this and I didn't. It is almost my sole real complaint about Forbidden West. Did not taint my view of the game. I love Forbidden West. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I loved the DLC, but I had to vocalize that. And I knew that you and I were going to be on polar opposites on this because I knew from talking to you a little bit that you definitely enjoyed that story.
I did.
Am I making any sense here?
Oh, yes. We don't have to agree on everything,
I know we don't, and I was very much not in this case, but I do understand why people would enjoy that, and I'll be honest, I hope Seika shows up again in the third game because I want to like her, and I'm hoping if I see more of the characters outside of this initial meeting that I will grow to like her.
And we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I hope
we'll see.
I hope that she does show up in the third game as well, because then I feel because if she doesn't, then I feel like then that just the DLC, like, okay, if this is Aloy's first dabble into romantic feelings, I kind of feel like then that's a wasted opportunity to explore that further.
I agree 100% there. I will point out two little notes for this part. The Admiral saying, "You're just like her," talking about Aloy to Seika, and I go, "Yes, that's the issue, Admiral. Exactly. You got it."
Yeah, you got number one.
Yes. And then, oh, a cult. Good. I really enjoyed the cult. It was definitely just like, I felt like I was going into a modern horror movie, and that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me a good cult. We're worshipping a false deity. Like, yes, I enjoyed this. What did you think of the villain? What did you think of our lost Zenith?
Oh, man. I got a tiny bit of Andrew Ryan vibes.
I absolutely see that.
I got Andrew Ryan vibes.
He is probably next to Sylens the best manipulator in the game, in either game. Like, he knows how to play the game. And that's what makes him so scary.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he knows how to turn on Horuses, Brian.
Yeah.
I was towards the end of Forbidden West. This is like when we're dealing with going to the Zenith base, and I was thinking, and I'm like, we haven't fought a Horus. Like, I'm surprised that they left that on the table because I don't think we're getting it now. And I'm like, that really, like, that must be something they're holding for the third game. And then I ended the DLC and I went, oh, no, they're not. They're right here. Holy crap. Oh, no. It was so good.
Uh-huh.
That was the best fight in either game, I think.
That was a pretty fun fight. That was a pretty fun fight.
It was a really fun fight. Like, holy crap, like, how do you fight something the size of a mountain? With Moxie, that's what you do.
With Moxie, yes. God, that's a disgusting drink. the last thing I will say about this, because we are just about out of time here, did you find the memorial?
I did find the memorial.
I thought that was such a classy move by Guerrilla. Because that happened after the game and the DLC was released, so they patched the DLC to do that.
I mean, I already said, like, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, that was a really classy move by them.
Mm-hmm. Like, I took a screenshot of that, and it is on my PS5.
I did not. I should have taken a screenshot of that. I took a screenshot of Varl's grave while Aloy is kneeling at it.
I saw that. Yes. Also, yes.
Yeah. That was just too good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I will say you had your last little thing. I will say one last thing for me. Just the most epic moment in the game for me, the coolest thing I ever did, was fighting Spectre Prime, the final boss of Forbidden West. And I knocked it down, grappled into a critical strike, and then hit the resonator aura in the air to kill it.
Oh, nice.
It was the perfect moment. And I understand that it's probably a very simple thing, but I've never been great at hitting shots in the air. So it was just the perfect little combination to end that game off.
Yes, good.
I take it, for final thought there, you enjoyed the game, because I did.
Oh, I loved both games. That was just... that it was a pleasure to go through both of them. I am probably going to do a second playthrough of Forbidden West to 100% it.
Yeah. I for 100%ed Zero Dawn. I did not Forbidden West because I was trying to complete this for the podcast while I had a very different time constraint. So I did not 100% complete it, but I'm going to be returning to do so. And I'll ask you a last question.
Okay.
Which do you prefer?
I do prefer the first game over the second game.
The story of Zero Dawn is just so good.
Yeah.
Not Zero Dawn the game, of the Zero Dawn project and how they reveal all of that. Like, Forbidden West does not have an equivalent to that.
No, and I understand it's a very different vibe. Like, the point of that second game are the friends we made along the way. Yes. I get it, and it was still excellent.
Yes, I think I prefer the second game, for two reasons. One, I really adore seeing Aloy tearing down some of her walls and allowing herself to be vulnerable with her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I just 100% prefer Regala to Helis as a villain. Even if we don't see her that much, like it made me more interested. It wasn't bad, but I was never as invested in the Shadow Karja story as I ended up being with Regala and her rebels. So
I totally get that.
So, but I think we can both agree that either game has so many reasons that somebody would choose it as their favorite. Like, both of those games just have so much good going for them.
Yes, indeed. It's again, I don't 100% games very often, let alone AAA games. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, well done, Guerrilla. I cannot wait to see how this goes. And if the third game winds up being the final, if we just get a trilogy, I would be very content with that. You know my thoughts about a franchise milking every penny. If
they want to end their story after a third game, I am fine with that. If they still have stories they want to continue, I could see them ending Aloy's story in the third game and then continuing Horizon on a different continent with a different tribe. And just showing us more of what's going on in the world. Because Aloy's is an important story, but it's only one story.
Yeah, it's not the only story.
Yeah, that's one thing we get throughout all of the games of Aloy is important. She's doing important things that are going to change the world. But there are other stories going on all over the place. It's a living world, and she is not the only one to have a story to tell. We even get a little bit of that. Call of the Mountain features a different protagonist than Aloy, and she does show up as an NPC in it. But they're experimenting with new characters, and if that's where they want to go with the franchise, I have enough faith in them that I'd love to see where they go with it.
Give your Perfect Cinnamon Roll a game.
I would love if we got a game of Alva going back to the remnants of Asia and seeing what Eurasia looks like.
Mm-hmm. But
that would be lovely. And Alva and her girlfriend, from what we gathered.
But yes,
which we didn't even touch on, and we don't have time to. But there is so much LGBT representation in this game series. There's trans representation, there's lesbian representation, there's gay representation, there is ace representation. Whoever you are, you will be able to find someone that is relatable for you in this game.
Yes, indeed. And I think on that fun note, because we could keep going easily.
Yeah, this is a good place to leave off.
This is a good place to leave off. And so we'd like to hear from you. What are some of your thoughts about the Horizon series? Let us know. You can let us know at dlcpodcast.com. Click on the feedback button. Give us your thoughts. If you want to give us ideas for future episodes, you can also do that too. Every single episode can be found there, all 194 and counting. Can also be found on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts / iTunes, as well as Spotify. So there you go. And I think all it remains for me to do is to thank Ronnie, and Ronnie for being on this episode.
I'm glad I could be here with you. It was a pleasure.
All right. And until I see you guys again, I'm Brian. Have a good one, everybody.